Hey, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to our Tuesday webinar. We're just going to get rolling today. As we're going to have people logging in as we go. So everybody knows, and we'll put this in the chat too, we are going to send out the recording and the slides for this video. And I could not be more excited today. One of the reasons why I want to jump in, because he has so much content to share. What if you had the blueprint to actually use AI tactically in your business to create ROI? That's what our guest speaker is going to share with us today. Today we've got Jason Pantana, who is the co-founder of AI Academy, and that's exactly what they do. That's why AI Academy was founded, to give you the tactical tools to utilize everything that's going on in AI today, to essentially drive ROI in your business. So with that, Jason, I'm going to pass it right off to you.
Hey, I'm ready to rock. I see Steve Conley in the chat. I want to just see what names I recognize here. Tell me where you're tuning in from if you're live on the webinar right now. My name again is Jason Pantana. I want to say thank you to Sierra Interactive for making today's webinar possible. It is a pleasure to spend time with this amazing group of folks. I'm looking through the chat now. I got New Jersey in the house. I got Greenville, South Carolina. I got Baton Rouge. I've got Atlanta. I've got Whoop Whoop in the house. I'm not familiar with that location. I've got Tacoma and Seattle. San Jose, Phoenix, amazing folks. I love getting the opportunity to work with this group in particular because it's already a super tech forward, digital minded group of individuals who are looking to figure out how do I go to the next level with my marketing, with lead generation, with conversion, nurturing, and how do I build my brand online to convert more opportunities into listings and buyers. And that's what we're going to get into today. Now, again, as Scott was saying, I'm Jason Pantana. I lead AI Marketing Academy. And my focus is obviously on AI, but it's a little bit more nuanced than that. Today, we're going to talk about a lot of AI, but more specifically through the lens of what it can do for your marketing. There is plenty of AI out there that is, wow, it's neato mosquito. It's so fun to talk about and think about. And it's interesting, sure, but interesting is a lot less, well, interesting than getting listings, getting buyers, making money in your business. So the focus today is on how can you deploy more marketing, better marketing, faster marketing, because if you do more marketing, better marketing, faster marketing, all while saving yourself time and in fact lowering costs because you're less reliant on more people and systems and software to help power your business, what could be possible in terms of generating a bigger, better, more scaled business with, again, more buyers, more sellers, more opportunities for you? This is all about scaling your marketing with AI because when you have more, faster, better marketing, you get more, faster, better customers. So I just want to frame that for everybody today that there may be moments where you think, oh, I've heard about that before. Oh, I knew about that tool. Or there may be moments where you think, oh, I didn't know about that. This is scary. This is so overwhelming for me. I want to, when those feelings might crop into your brain, I want to call your attention to this fact. This is only about getting business. So what if you've heard about a tool before? Or so what if it seems daunting? The power of it applied in your business is what we're focused on today. How do you scale for more listings, more buyers, better marketing that does all of it for you with the power of AI? Because I'm aware of the fact that you're all very busy. And so one of my goals today is how can I help you save time and do more with the power of AI? So that being said, we're going to get some slides on the screen here momentarily. I want to echo what Scott said a second ago for those who jumped on after he did an intro. This is being recorded. I'm double checking. Yes, the recording is on. The recording will be sent out to you, and I will give my slides over to the Sierra team so they can also distribute all my slides with that recording. The goal here is, because you can probably tell I talk very, very fast, the goal is for you to get what you need today, for me to share what I can with you that's going to help you move and advance your business to the next level. And I got to tell you, the next level is a big, big jump because AI is absolutely insane. If you wouldn't mind grabbing your phones right now, unless you're using your phones to watch this, and opening up your camera and scanning that QR code, it will take you to my link tree. If we're not connected on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, pick your choice, whatever your preferred platform is. I want to be a resource for you there. It could be very possible I share something today that maybe inspires a new epiphany or an idea for you, or it could be also very possible I say something really not smart and you want to call me out for it. Either way, challenge me, encourage me, ask me questions. Let's be connected beyond just today's webinar because this is about the continual refining of your marketing so that perpetually, like a flywheel, you can keep growing, scaling, multiplying, and all that goodness of having AI really scale your marketing. Okay, one of my favorite authors. I love this dude. I think he is arguably the premier marketing thinker who is still alive today. His name is Seth Godin. He's written so many best-selling books on marketing, and when the guy talks about marketing, I listen because I think he is brilliant about marketing. He was on a podcast a few months ago. The interviewer shifted the dialogue with Seth Godin, that's his name, to talking about AI. Hey, Seth, he asked, what do you think about AI as it relates to business professionals in any kind of an industry or vertical? And literally without missing a beat, Seth Godin just quickly said, like, hey, AI is the biggest change since electricity, even bigger than the internet. Wow, that's a little bit. Is that hyperbole? Is he exaggerating? Maybe a little bit, but really, have you thought about how big of a deal AI is? I mean, here we have the premier marketing mind of our day saying it's bigger than the internet. Notwithstanding, we're going to need the internet for us to be able to use the AI, but you can see how it's the next iteration, it's the next climb up that ladder. And so, how much are you thinking about AI in terms of what it could mean for your business? I am curious. Drop it in the chat. How are you currently using AI? I'm reading through comments. How are you currently using AI in your business? I just want to hear a couple of statements, get a sense for where everybody is right now. I'm waiting. Okay, whenever I can. I love it. Let's be specific though. So for video, Sean's using it for video, for writing outlines and blogs. Okay, so uh, Steve Conley's already in our AI Academy. He's one of our great coaches with Tom Ferry as well. To help out with wording social media posts, prints. These are moving fast. I'm trying to keep up with the chat. MLS descriptions, yes. Presentations, yes. Descriptions, scripts, emails, yes, yes, yes. Okay, so as I'm looking through this, I saw what I expected to see. Generally, when I ask this question to real estate professionals like yourselves, the common areas where AI is already being used is MLS descriptions. It's being used in maybe emails, crafting emails, maybe brainstorming topics for social media, some of those elements. But today we're going to push the envelope in terms of what's really possible. What if you go multimedia, words, images, sounds, videos? What if you apply the full power of generative AI to all those aspects of marketing? When you think about what marketing is a combination of words, images, sounds, and videos. And those are the very outputs that AI produces that may be a little bit of like I might sound like a professor right now. I'm going to try to strip that down in terms of what does it really mean for you. It means scaling your marketing. It means there's no limit or ceiling or anything to stop you from absolutely dominating and building your brand. The way I look at AI is imagine you're boarding a bullet train. That thing's going to speed off from the station. You can either get on board or you can sit at the station and it's going to pass you by. A lot of people are asking me, like, hey, what do I think about AI in terms of its future impact on the industry? Do I think AI is going to replace agents? And my answer is no, I do not. I think AI is going to enhance agents. I think it's going to be a force multiplier of agents. But I do think the biggest present, today, and future threat to agents who are not leveraging AI are the agents who are, because they're going to be the ones taking the lion's share of opportunity because they're a bullet train and they're just zooming by and it's going to be really hard to compete. That may be hard for you to kind of reconcile now without seeing all the things AI can do, but let's just jump into it. Let's talk about today some of the wild advancements we're seeing in AI. We're going to talk about advanced voice mode today. We're going to talk about becoming a prompt engineer. Prompting may be a word you're unfamiliar with. It just means to give an instruction to an AI. Hey, AI, go do this thing for me or answer this question for me. We're going to talk about some eye contact correction hacks and what that can mean for your videos. We're going to talk about this new emerging term called answer engines, as in not search engines, but as in answer engines. We're going to talk about vibe coding. We're going to talk about generative AI podcasting. Again, AI, it's a force multiplier of you. Helps you do more, helps you do it faster, helps you do it better. So think about it like this. If you're doing no amount of marketing yourself, which isn't true for this group, I'm aware of that. But if you weren't, let's say, then no amount of AI solves that. It's what you do with AI. It's a multiplication symbol. You times AI equals exponential compound returns in your marketing. And if you do more marketing, faster marketing, better marketing, it saves you time and it gets you more faster, better customers. Now, if you're taking notes today, we're going to go through these 5 items in the outline. First, I want to expose you to AI voice and video mode whereby you could practice role play. So a lot of you may already know this one, a lot of you may not know this one, but certain AI tools, some of the big popular ones include ChatGPT, Grok, Perplexity. Revi does this. Revi is Tom Ferry's AI. all of these AIs have built into them basically the ability to have a phone call with the AI where you can talk and it listens and it talks back and it's totally hands-free. It's just a conversation with AI. And it's an incredibly useful way to practice critical dialogues that you would otherwise be having and practicing on buyers and sellers. You want to be well rehearsed for common objections and ways to talk through those scenarios. And so I think everybody in this industry knows it's encouraged to practice role play. Maybe you have a role play partner, another person you talk to. Well, what if AI became your ultimate role play partner? And I want to just give you some sense about this. So ChatGPT. If I jump over to my ChatGPT app, you can see it on my screen right here. I'm using the desktop app for a MacBook. And on this application, whether you did it on mobile, on the website, or you have this desktop app, either way, you'll see this little icon down here that if I click it, it turns on voice mode. Let me show you how it works so you can imagine the use case for, oh my gosh, I could practice, I could brainstorm anything. I could practice, I'm on my way to a listing appointment and I could say, hey, ChatGPT, you're going to play the part of the seller. Here's your attitude. Here's your perspective. You're moody, you're flaky, you're this, you're that. And you could practice dialogues to get yourself ready for critical listing appointments or buyer consultations or price reduction meetings or any of that sort of stuff. Open house dialogues. The amount of practice and refinement that could be had on your scripts and dialogues is insane with AI. Give this a watch. Hopefully the internet works here. Hey, ChatGPT, quick sound check. Do you hear me okay?
Loud and clear. I can hear you perfectly.
Okay, so you're currently talking to lots and lots and lots of amazing real estate professionals on a webinar. Can you just say hello to them?
Of course. Hello, everyone. It's great to connect with so many amazing real estate professionals today. Thanks for joining us.
Okay, I want to do a quick little demonstration of some of your capabilities, just so folks have some context for how they can talk to you. Can you just, for no reason at all, speak with a French accent? Speak English, but a French accent.
Sure thing. I'll switch to an English sentence with a French accent. Just let me know whenever you'd like me to go back
Talk
to
like
my
a
normal
robot.
voice.
Hey, did you hear me? Talk like a robot.
Affirmative. I can hear you. Switching to robotic mode now. Greetings, real estate professionals.
No. You want to sound like a monotonous robot. I want to hear it in your voice.
Understood. Adjusting voice to a more monotone, robotic style. Hello, real estate professionals. It is a pleasure to address you today. Thank you for joining
All right,
this
enough,
webinar.
enough. Okay, I believe when you're having conversation with customers, for instance, that sometimes the way you say your words, intonation, inflection, and so forth, has more impact on how those words are received or interpreted than the definition of the terms themselves. Would you agree with that statement?
Absolutely. The tone, intonation, and inflection you use can significantly influence how your message is perceived. It can convey
All right,
confidence.
I get it. So here's what we're going to do. I want to do a little experiment to demonstrate your abilities. I'm going to say some words, and you're going to tell me what I really mean based upon how I say those words, not based upon the words themselves. Do you understand before we begin?
Got it. I'm ready for your experiment. Go ahead whenever you're ready.
Okay, here we go. I'm so happy to see you today.
It sounds like you're being sarcastic or maybe a bit annoyed, even though the words say you're happy. Your tone definitely suggests the opposite feeling.
All right, you nailed it. Way to go, ChatGPT. And so all of us clap it up in the comments for ChatGPT the robot, which, by the way, this whole voice chat was synthesized into a transcription for us. So this could be done in your car. This could be done when you're practicing, like it could be hands-free through Bluetooth, whether you have an iPhone or I think Android devices have Bluetooth. I'm not sure if they've caught up to that yet. Notwithstanding, when you're on your way to an appointment, you have the ability to really start thinking through, hey, I'm going to meet with the seller. Here's the backstory. Here's this, and practice those dialogues so you're well rehearsed. Once again, the applications that do this really well. ChatGPT is my personal favorite. It's the most well-rounded. Grok is very good at it. Perplexity is interesting. So Perplexity only has it on their mobile app, but what it also has is it's actually integrated with the apps on your phone. So for example, I could talk to Perplexity's voice assistant and I could tell it to hail me an Uber. at a specific location. I could tell it to book a reservation at a certain time at a restaurant through OpenTable or other apps that may already be on my device. Now, Revy is Tom Ferry's AI, and what's special about it is Revy is built on top of ChatGPT, only it's been fine-tuned with all of our scripts, dialogues, best practices, and trainings. And so when you role play with Revy, you can rest assured you're role playing in a Tom Ferry approved environment. So these are my favorite picks for these role play, brainstorming types of voice call assistants with AI. Now, number 2 on the list is read a teleprompter and read a teleprompter script, and AI fixes your eye contact. I'm willing to bet you've been on maybe a Zoom before or a FaceTime where somebody was, holding up their phone and the camera is up at the top of your phone, but they're looking at the screen because your face is on the screen and they're looking at you. But from your vantage point, it looks like they're not looking at you. It looks like they're avoiding eye contact, as if they're avoiding being caught in wrongdoing or a lie or something. Anyways, it's because they're looking at your face. Well, think about when you read teleprompter scripts. There are a lot of apps that let you put a script on a phone that you can just read. Now, why would that be something you might consider doing? Well, because A, coming up with content is really hard. B, you're pressed for time. And so how many takes can you record on a video to get it perfect versus if you just had a perfectly optimized video script that AI like ChatGPT could help you write, you could knock it out in one take. It would have a great opening hook. It would build curiosity with every subsequent sentence. It'd be a perfect script and you would read it off, one take wonder and done. And then, but the problem would be is that I can see your eyes darting left to right as you read the script. What AI does is it, after the fact, just fixes your eye contact. And so if you think about what a video is a motion picture. So we might see 30 frames per second. That is 30 rapidly moving images per second. And so what the AI does is it will analyze every respective frame, all 30 per second, and it will look at your eyes. It sees pixels in the image. And it's like, okay, if Jason's head is looking up a little bit and his eyes are over here, but if had he been looking at the camera, his eyes would have been like this. And it will move your eyeballs, the whites of your eyes, your pupils, your eyebrows, all that stuff to match where it predicts your eyes would have been had you been looking at the camera lens. And it will just go through every single frame of the entire video and fix your eye contact. So just for kicks and giggles, like look over here, for example. Maybe you're making more Instagram Reels. You want to be more effective in producing content on a turnkey basis. You want to put out more Reels, but the problem is you're super busy. That's where a tool like eye contact correction comes in handy because it just fixes your eye contact lickety split. It's one button and done. Some of my favorite apps that do this include Captions, BigView, and Descript. My personal choice is Captions. I use this one, and it's as simple as it's literally one button. You can record your video inside their app, they have a teleprompter feature built into the app. So does BigView, so does Descript. You can record it using their teleprompter, or you can just load it in. And either way, it's a one button push and then it fixes your eye contact. Like, take a look at this one here. This is one of our members of AI Marketing Academy, Lane Stone. Check out the before and after. Here he is before, and then about halfway through, I'll signal you it's the after where it fixes his eye contact. You can already see before I even start the video. He's not looking at the camera lens. The lens is up here. He's looking down here at the script he's reading. Give it a watch.
Guess who's gearing up for the 2026 FIFA World Cup? Yep, Orange County's making some moves. 3 iconic fields might host teams for their prep and training. You've got Jack Hammett in Costa Mesa, Great Park in Irvine, and World Cup soccer. Guess who's gearing up for the 2026 FIFA World Cup? Yep, Orange County's making some moves. 3 iconic fields might host teams for their prep and training. You've got Jack Hammett.
Not too shabby, right? So imagine how many more videos could you produce if AI helped you write the script and then fix your eye contact. Now I have to show you this. Inside of AI Marketing Academy, every month we tackle a specific area of your marketing and we provide training videos throughout the month that step-by-step show you how to AIify that specific part of your marketing. If you look back here, we have one called Faster Videos with AI. You might notice we have 2 called Faster Videos with AI. So every month there's a lecture and a lab. The lecture is the video that explains the how do you do this. And the lab is a live session with me to talk about implementation, answer questions, and make sure everybody has a high level of comfort with executing on what was trained on in the lecture video. So if you click this open, this particular training here, it's about an hour-long video. And it goes through not only how do you fix your eye contact with these different apps, but it also tells you how do you train your ChatGPT so that it writes and sounds like you. So that when you put a video script over inside of your teleprompter app, whether it's captions or Descript or whatever it is, it sounds like you, and it's trained to write for Instagram Reels so that it follows best practices to make sure your video scripts absolutely land powerfully and they perform really well with the algorithm. So if you want to go deeper, that is inside the Academy. If you're going to stick around for the webinar, I do have a little special treat for you at the end of the webinar if you're interested in getting in this Academy. All right, let's move on to the next topic, which is deep multi-step research. We call it not search engine optimization, but answer engine optimization. And when you think about search engines, you likely think about one and one only. You think about Google. And the question we should be wrestling with today is Google search antiquated? Hey, tell me in the comments, do you think Google search is antiquated? I'm looking, I'm waiting. No, yes. Okay, so it's a split bill. Some say no, some say yes. I think it is wildly antiquated, and here's why. Imagine I have a question that I want answered, so I search the World Wide Web, and instead of giving me an answer, Google gives me options. Click this link, this link, this link, eeny, meeny, miny, mo, catch a link by its toe. And then I'm like, okay, well, maybe this link answers my question. I click it, I wait for the page to load, I go look for my answer, and darn it, I can't find it. So what do? I go back and I click the next link. Still no answer. Maybe I asked the question wrong. I can't follow up and inquire with Google, so I have to redo the search and hope for the best. I am feeling my way through the dark. It is a scavenger hunt of trying to seek and find information. In fact, we know that more and more people are turning to AI. There's this article here. AI search is starting to kill Google's 10 blue links, specifically AI tools like ChatGPT, like Gemini, like Grok, like Perplexity, like Copilot. Now, I want to pause on the screen for a second. The one that I'm sure all of you have heard of is, of course, ChatGPT. It's the one that's getting the most buzz. Gemini, you may realize, is owned by Google. So it's not to say Google isn't aware of the issue. In fact, Google is behind the scenes working on their AI mode. They're going to make Google and Gemini one, and it's going to be more of a ChatGPT-like search experience. Grok is Elon Musk and xAI's version of it's the same kind. They're all language models. They all have like the little ask box here, and you use them in similar ways. Perplexity, Copilot is owned by Microsoft. These are the big ones that folks are using to search online because right now we are at a digital crossroads. The crossroads of search versus ask. Search versus ask. If you think about when Google came out, I don't know if you were around back in the 90s. And to be honest with you, I don't even know if Google was the first one who invented the search bar. But let's just assume they're certainly the ones who popularized it. Think about that search bar. Every website, every app, the search bar is the focal point. It is the centerpiece of their platform. If you go to Zillow's website, what do you see? You see a big fat search. But we are now at this crossroads, this digital dichotomy of search versus ask. And ask is becoming the superior way. You're going to start seeing every UI, every interface of every app and every website is going to start migrating away from search to ask. I'll show you this if you don't believe me. Let me switch out of this tab really quick and go over to my other link here. If I go to, I'm logged into a Gmail. If I go to the Google Labs, check this out. Google is, that's the wrong thing. Let's look for this one right here, AI mode. They're testing AI mode in the background, like I just said a moment ago, right now. So as soon as they figure out how to monetize their ads, their search ads, and they're testing right now, they're going to go from Google Search to Google Ask. And so how effectively are you preparing yourself and your business to be discovered through these types of searches? Now, here's what's, Ask. I'm looking at Mark, and the Netscape was before Yahoo. You guys are fun. So I think Yahoo was first, said Tom, and then Sergey said Netscape was before Yahoo. What about Earthlink? Was Earthlink a factor in here? Ask.com, Ask Jeeves, all the throwbacks here, right? Of who invented the search bar. Now, here's what I want to encourage you to think about. Why does search matter? Well, because we know that more and more sellers are finding their listing agents by way of search. If you look at data from the National Association of Realtors, we know that 1 out of 3 sellers found their agent online through broad-based search activities. We know if you look at 1,000-watt research, we know that about 43% of sellers found their agents their listing agents through online search, whether it be reading reviews or looking at transaction histories or just Googling and reading reviews. They're finding agents online. But what I'm suggesting to you is that search is changing. Search is becoming ask. So how effectively, I can't stop reading the comments. Yellow pages, Kimberly. Now we're talking, Kimberly. I love it. So I am so ADD. I'm trying to focus. So the question is, how do we get you ready for AI search, which is called answer engine optimization? Now, of the different AIs I mentioned, look at the logos down here across the horizontal axis. We've got ChatGPT, Gemini, Grok, Perplexity, Claude by Anthropic, which is funded largely by Amazon, and then Copilot by Microsoft. These are estimations of how much traffic they're getting on a monthly basis across desktop and mobile applications. And as you can see, ChatGPT is racking up like 5.19 billion monthly traffic versus all the rest of them are small. Now you may be thinking, okay, so what are you telling me, Jason? Should I focus on optimizing for ChatGPT? Yes. You should focus optimizing for ChatGPT, but you're going to want to also focus on Gemini, because as soon as AI mode comes out with Google, it is Gemini. And so you're like, okay, so I'm going to focus on those, but what does that even mean? Well, think about this nice little perk of AI search. If you do a search on Google and you say, hey, Google, why did you rank that person first? It's not going to give you an answer. It's going to just let you do a new search. But with ChatGPT, you have the ability to actually ask follow-up questions. Hey, tell me more about why you ranked this page or that page. So here's a prompt I want you to consider. You might want to take a photo of this, or you can wait for the slides, however you want to do it. I want you to go to ChatGPT and then to Gemini. You're going to try this prompt in whichever AIs you want to make sure you're the best optimized for. And you're going to simply say, tell me about, and you would put in your name at your company and your location. 1, how do they show up in AI search? 2, what blind spots do you see in their online presence related to AI search? 3, based upon what you know about the future of online search and the role of AI in it, what actions can they take right now as a real estate agent to be discovered by more buyers and sellers and to dominate in customer intent AI searches? And then you just kind of kick back and you read, you watch, and it literally tells you what it thinks. Now, I want to just show you this for a second here. So pause in your brain. Here's your first prompt to try. I want you to try something else too. I've got a ChatGPT window I pulled up earlier. So this is ChatGPT. I'm on chatgpt.com, and I just did a search for who's the best realtor in and around the Space Coast of Florida. And so it said the Space Coast of Florida, encompassing Brevard County, boasts a vibrant real estate, blah, 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 blah. And then it listed off all of its top choices, beginning first with Dwayne Carpenter and second, Kurt Kessel. These two dudes are actually business partners, and I coach them. So I'm quite pleased with their results here. Now, what I want you to pay attention to is I did a search, who's the best realtor in or around the Space Coast of Florida? I want you to put yourself in the shoes of a prospective seller. What might they search on ChatGPT or Gemini? And you could do several variations of this, and then you're going to pay attention to how does it think, how does it decide? And what you're going to notice up front is it started putting links here. It's citing sources. It's like a bibliography of a paper in college. And it put Fast Expert first, and then it's got Blue Marlin Real Estate, Rate My Agent, Yelp, Rate My Yelp.ca. Who knows why I did that? But it's got all these different websites. And then it goes through and it puts the little citation next to each one, showing you where it found the information and why it inferred that. So what we're seeing here, there's a term in AI called inference, where inference is whenever an AI, a large language model that is designed to think for itself and form its own predictions and observations, whenever you ask it a question that relies upon it going out and fetching new data and bringing it back, it is inferring based upon the data it found online how to answer you. And so ChatGPT is actually getting all of its search data through Bing. Now, that does not mean that it is Bing search. It just means that there's a deal on the back end with Microsoft and OpenAI where Bing shares their index of what's available online with ChatGPT, and then ChatGPT applies its own logic, weights, measures, and so forth in terms of what it decides and deems is relevant content or not. So it rated these guys here, but then I asked a follow-up question. I said, I noticed you cited the Fast Expert page a bunch. When I follow that link, it lists out its own top agent rankings. Oddly enough, Dwayne Carpenter and Kirk Kessel, who you ranked as number 1 and 2, are 3 and 4 on the Fast Expert page. What I want to understand specifically and accurately is as follows. One, how much weight did you place on your search? How much weight did your search place on Fast Expert versus the other cited sources? And then two, what led you to rank Dwayne 1 and Kirk 2 despite others being listed higher on the respective source pages? My goal is to understand your approach to making recommendations for search like this so I can learn to optimize my online presence accordingly. And then it was like, great questions, Jason. It's glazing me right now. And then it went through and gave its weight. It put the heaviest weighting on Fast Expert because the data was the most structured. What does structured data mean? It means it was number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5. It put a list of the top 10. You're going to notice there are certain pages, no matter how you word your searches, best realtor, top listing agent, whatever phraseology you choose to put in the search, as if you are a prospective seller, you're going to notice it keeps grabbing the same sources. You're going to keep seeing a couple of key pages. One of them is the best top 10 Yelp pages and the Fast Expert pages. And in the Rate My Agent, there's a few others. And so where we're going with this is, if you want to get recommended in more AI searches, you're going to have to beef up your presence on the profiles that AI is grabbing at. So when you do these searches, test it in ChatGPT and then take note of which pages and sources does it commonly cite, and how do I improve my presence there? Does Gemini cite different sources? What about Grok? And you're going to try to figure out which are the most common pages and then do what you can to control the experience. Now, I asked more questions here. I went through and it gave me all of this, and it pulled a lot of info. A lot of it came down to how many sales. It was looking at how many sales they've done. And so I actually followed up. It gave me some recommendations on how to rank. And then I said, review all the sources you cited, and then your first response, then list them by order of weight. And then I want to know, what did you specifically look at on those pages that you thought was the most relevant so I can focus on those? And so it said 70% was Fast Expert, and then this and this and this. And then it broke down what it paid attention to. Its reasoning was Dwayne and Kirk sold more homes. And so it was documented inside those pages. And so because they sold more property, they cut the list to the top of the page, which I think is reasonable. It's a reasonable conclusion. You can look at it here like this. And then I said, well, you overlooked. What about the best 10 on Yelp? What about Zillow? And then it said, well, why did I start with Fast Expert and follow it later? And it gave you its logic. When was the last time Google gave you their logic? Now, there is one caveat note I want to make, and this is a little bit of me splitting hairs about how AI works. Think about a time in your life. Maybe it was when you were a kid and you did something. Maybe it was at school and you got in trouble for it. Or maybe it was a good thing and you were praised for it. Either way, the principal or some authority figure came to you and said, hey, Steve, why did you do what you did? And in that moment, Steve's brain goes to try to remember the past. Steve starts trying to remember and putting himself in the position as if he were there right now about why did he make the decision he made? Why did he do what he did? And if you think about it, when you're in those kinds of situations, you're actually trying to analyze, why did I make the decision the way that I did? But you don't necessarily know exactly why you did it in the moment. All you can do is review, well, these are my principles. This is probably why I did it. I think it's like this. And you're trying to reconstruct why you think you decided what you did. Well, AI is exactly the same. So when I started asking all these follow-up questions, it doesn't completely know why it did what it did here. It made the decision, it inferred, and then it dumped the memory here. So ChatGPT doesn't really have memory, not like you think of memory. It can only remember what it sees on the page. So when I asked it follow-up questions here, it reread what it answered. It followed its own links and reanalyzed it, looking for commonalities about how it might do it again. One of the natures of these AIs is you can't predict them. They are generative. They are not like spreadsheets where it's if this, then that always equals the same. Anyways, I digress. I want to give you something really quick. So if I share this chat with you, you can read it and analyze it yourself. I'm going to update the link. I'm going to copy the link, and I'm going to just put this in the chat for everybody. Let me just do that to everyone. Prove that I'm not AI doing this webinar. Number I just typed is, what are we doing? Recaptcha, Kevin? The number he typed is 123455431. I nailed it. I'm alive. Here's the link if you want to go look at that chat. All right, I'm going to move us on. I think this stuff's so flipping fun. So the platforms you want to prioritize are I would say ChatGPT and Gemini are the two biggies because that's the likelihood of most sellers, most buyers are likely frequenting those AIs in substitution of Google. Now, am I saying Google is dead? No. Google's evolving. Google will replace itself with its own ask mode. So Gemini and Google, think of those as the future. That's my advice to you. Now, I want to go one layer deeper, and I'm kind of pushing the clock here a little bit. So I'm going to ask your permission to hit this quickly. And before I do, I want to just let you know, once again, if you jump over to AI Marketing Academy, we also have we did a whole month in April on answer engine optimization. If you want to go way deeper on how do you rank in AI search, it was a heavy focus inside the Academy. If you sign up for the Academy today, you instantly get access to everything already in it. So it's all there for you. I'll give you a special link at the end if you're interested in doing that. Just if you want to go deeper and you want to apply the lessons. All right, let's jump back over to the slides. Check this out. Study says that Google AI overviews appear in 47% of search results. You've likely seen a Google search where there's an AI overview and it gives a synthesized answer. This is a foreshadowing of the AI mode that is yet to come, the ask mode that is yet to come. But what I want to point out to you is it's happening in almost half of searches. It's showing up and it is doing something to searchers. It is conditioning searchers to ask more specific questions. They're getting more granular, more nuanced in their questions. Now tell me, do serious clients ask specific questions? And the answer is yes, they do. Serious buyers, serious sellers have specific questions. And so they're not asking the broad stuff, they're asking the narrow stuff, which provides an opportunity for you to be the source of knowledge, to be the knowledge broker that answers their question in their time of need. Now, let's go super high level for just a quick little second here. All right. Really quick, I'm just looking at the chat. If you're already in AIM, it's already there. You already have access to it. Anybody in AIM has access to anything ever in AIM. It's all yours forever. Every video, every resource, is every member's always and forever, period. Okay, let me move on. On the screen here, you see property professional process. This is going to be us thinking. So I need you to take a deep breath, take a sip of coffee, whatever you need. We're going to go philosophical for a second. When you think about lead generation, a lead is simply somebody who responds to a marketing offer, a real estate marketing offer. It has something to do with real estate. And they want your offer, so they take it, and in so taking it, they reveal their intent to buy or sell real estate. It could be a lot of intent, it could be a teensy-weensy bit of intent. That's up to your conversion and nurture to figure that out. When you think about offers that are made to a prospective buyer or seller, there are only 3 offers you could possibly make that are lead generating in nature. I'll juxtapose for a second. For instance, it is not this. If you go to sponsor a booth at a local festival and you have a big glass bowl that says enter to win a free bicycle, and people drop their names in the big glass bowl and their email addresses and their phone numbers in the big glass bowl, and you get 1,000 people who want to win the free bicycle, how many leads did you get? And the answer is a big fat 0. That is 0 leads despite 1,000 contacts enrolling to try to win the bicycle because there's no intent. There's no measurable intent to buy or sell real estate. They just want a free bike. Now, when you think about what are the marketing offers that could be made that would reveal intent, well, there are 3: property inquiries, professional inquiries, process inquiries. Most leads in our industry are property inquiries. What's my home worth? Attend the open house, search for homes, see that house. Most offers across Zillow or Physical or in PPC are generally related to the property, which are fantastic. You can get a lot of leads that way. Professional inquiries are great too. We just talked about professional inquiries. Who's the best realtor in Brevard County? And it was Dwayne and Kirk. But the problem with those is there just aren't enough of them. And so there's not enough volume. So what do? We do more property inquiries. But there's a third category that often goes overlooked and undertapped. And those are process-based inquiries. How do I? Where do I do this first? When do I do this? It is questions buyers and sellers might ask when they're in a fact-finding mode. They'd be like middle of funnel intent, looking for answers to their questions. And they're going to imprint on the professional who gives them the answer. Their intent will imprint on the professional who gives them the answer. And so what I see is, well, wait a minute, let's put a couple of things together. We know that there's more AI searches and that AI searches are grooming people to ask more specific questions. We know that serious clients tend to ask more specific questions. We know that the questions they ask might have to do with process inquiries. I smell an opportunity. So look at what like some of our members like Ray Ellen are doing. He is trying to get ranked in the citation sources box of AI overviews by answering really ridiculously granular questions that nobody else would ever take the time to answer through blogs. And so I'm showing you this. We're gonna fly over it because I got a lot I want to cover today. But for any of my nerds out there who are blogging, and one of the things I love about your Sierra pages is I would argue that Sierra is one of the best, if not the best, SEO organized web platforms available for real estate professionals. So the idea of you blogging here and building your SEO here and becoming the source of knowledge for the questions buyers and sellers ask, what I'm talking about and what they provide you goes hand in glove. So if you find yourself in the academy, go look at this answer engine optimization. The first half of the video focuses on how do you get found or recommended in ChatGPT searches. But the second half of the training, if you look at it, teaches you a blogging strategy whereby I'm going to have AI. This is the link that goes to the resource. I'm going to give you all the prompts in here. So this explains what it is and it gives you the prompts. They're very, very detailed. Inside of AI Marketing Academy, I provide all the members with what are called modular prompts. Modular prompts are basically really long prompts with multiple steps of instruction. So they are end-to-end marketing tasks being done in one fell swoop with an AI. All you do is literally you just click on the button that says, you just go here, click copy, and it puts in your clipboard and you paste it in ChatGPT or whatever. And what this strategy does is it analyzes what are sellers searching online. Specifically, what are their super granular, really niched down questions? And then it turns those questions into blog topics. And then there's a second prompt in here that actually writes the blogs for you in a way that is best practices for SEO purposes so that you can be like Ray. So for example, Ray, this question is, do I have to submit earnest money when buying a home in Little Rock, Arkansas as is? That is a question that like nobody's going to take the time to answer. But like 11 people may have that question. And when they search it, they're going to find Ray. And because the question is so specific and serious, it's likely a bottom of funnel intent seller. And so what's been happening with Ray is he's doing a blog every day using these prompts and he's generating 3 to 5 organic inbound leads through his blogs every single week. That whole strategy is spelled out and demystified inside of the April trainings. So when you join AIM, you have access to everything instantly. You're going to want to focus on the April trainings inside those sessions, and it's going to show you exactly how to do this because I'm going to run out of time. Okay, let's go to the next one. I love this section. Effortlessly code emails and websites using Claude AI. So Claude is another alternative to a ChatGPT. They're all called language models. ChatGPT, Google Gemini, Grok by Elon, by XAI, Claude. These are our 4 big language models, and they're all like Pepsi, Coke, Hilton, Marriott. They're sort of competitors of each other. Now, what's fascinating about these is they interpret and know all languages, not just English, but they know code. If you're looking for a simple definition of what is a computer programmer is somebody who tells a computer what to do in the language of the computer. Well, what's that language? Well, it's code. It could be Python, it could be Java, JavaScript, HTML, CSS, whatever. You may not know any code, but it knows every code. And so there's this emerging trend called vibe coding, which is a way to build web pages and apps by prompting AI to generate the code instead of you coding every line for yourself. I am not a coder, but I've been coding pages for my platform and all kinds of fun stuff. Look at this. This is Claude right now. This is Claude. So on the left-hand side, what I did is I loaded in my MLS data. Most MLSs will let you grab and download your data to a spreadsheet. So I ran a search for homes in this specific neighborhood, sold, active, expired, whatever, year to date. And then I downloaded the listings into a spreadsheet, and then I just dragged and dropped it to attach it to my chat. And then I fed it this prompt right here, and then it starts coding following the instructions of my prompt. So the prompt is really the magic key. It's you telling it what to do. Now, that specific prompt, if you jump over to the Academy, I have it in here already. So this one is called Market Update Email Infographic. If you click on it, you can see that I have instructions that will tell you how to use it. And then I give you the actual prompt. All you have to do is copy and paste. I'm writing the prompts for all the Academy members. You can learn certainly, but I'm going to give you my modular prompts to be able to perform some of these specific strategies. So that's every time every training, it comes with prompts every single time. All right, let me jump back over here. So it's doing all the code, and when the code is done, it looks like this. So this specific tool here is a market update And I basically said to it, hey, find an interesting angle to analyze this neighborhood. If you read through the essence of the prompt, that's what it is. And so notice like here, it actually puts Interstate 65. You can literally see it moving, and it plotted the sales on the left and right of it. So I then downloaded that and I made it the background of a video. You've seen those green screen videos where you sort of do a remove background of yourself over top of the video in the background. Well, watch this. That's what I did. As they say, it is location, location, location. That is especially true in the South Nashville neighborhood of Oak Hill, where whether you live on the west or east side of the I-65 corridor, my goodness, what a big difference it is in terms of home values. West side properties in the Oak Hill neighborhood south of Nashville, they sell for significantly more than those homes on the east side, but there's a different tune to the east side. East side sells faster. There's more demand for it. It's harder to get in, but it's less appreciated. Now, I'm not going to get the video. I think you get the gist of it. A bit smaller, and really, here's the big. So here's what we're teaching our students inside the academy. You can create seller reports whereby you want to make interactive, branded, beautiful reports that are interactive to be sent to a seller. The seller says, hey, what have you done to market my property? You can just feed that way. Here's how many views on Redfin, on Zillow, on Realtor. Here's how many saves. Here's all the marketing we're doing. You can put that in a spreadsheet, drop the spreadsheet into the chat, and then bam, create beautiful seller reports. Inside the academy, if you jump back over to the main section here, if you go back here to this one, I'm trying to scroll on my machine. I should probably just click the arrow. It's right here, generating Claude artifacts. This goes through all of these in detail if you want to go a little bit slower pace on executing this. So if I jump back over here, the seller report is an awesome use case for this. The agent scorecard. Imagine you're going on a listing appointment and it's competitive and you want to show the seller that you sell more homes in the area for better terms than competitors. Well, you can feed MLS data into your chat. It will anonymize all your competitors except for you, and it will create a beautiful branded interactive report that you can literally hand an iPad to your seller and they can click it and tap it and see charts and graphs they can interact with, and it makes you look like a rock star. Now, one of my favorites here is the HTML newsletters. You can create beautiful emails that look like this. So look over here on the left-hand sidebar. That's what my email looks like, but Claude made it from scratch. So the way that it works is I got my MLS data, threw it in a chat, I grabbed the prompt out of AI Marketing Academy, and then it wrote all the HTML code. Most email service providers, MailChimp, Constant Contact, all the ones y'all are using, I believe, SendGrid, they all support Code Your Own, where you can do a mass email newsletter to your audience. And you can say, hey, these are my colors, these are my fonts, and it will brand it like you. Every word of this was done by AI. So for example, if I jump over to the Academy, I'll show you where this one came from. If I look at oh, this is the right one. This is it. So if I look at this one, it tells me what this is, how to use it. Every one of my resources has that boilerplate language. And then down here in the prompt, you can see this is the prompt. And it tells it to have like a compelling market insight. So for example, it has to analyze the data and identify one specific and compelling insight that would resonate with homeowners considering selling their property, and then write a 3 to 4 sentence paragraph summarizing this key market trend, highlighting a data point that would make the homeowner stop and think about selling. And so your ability to then just grab code, copy and paste, like watch this. I can delete my code and then the email will go bye-bye in just a quick second here. It's got to catch up and now it's gone. Or I can just put my code back in there. And all I have to do to get that code, wait for it to come to life. There it is. Boom. This is just straight from it's request a home valuation. It's all made by AI. If I jump over to Claude, all I have to do is click this button that says copy, and then it takes all the code and it just puts it right there. Kaboom, simple as that. The power of this is insane. You can make any email you want, and it's all in the prompts, all in the lessons inside of AI Marketing Academy. Let me show you one more, and then we'll do a little bit of Q&A. We're going to talk about generative AI podcasting, specifically using a tool called Notebook LM that is owned by Google. Notebook LM is a fascinating story. They acquired it. So the basic premise of Notebook LM was actually designed for college students who are busy. And so what it was is, hey, what if we gave college students a tool where they could drag and drop their resources from their different classes into a notebook, and it would create listenable podcasts that they could listen to about their classes whenever they wanted to. And so you could drop in Google Docs, Google Slides, website links, YouTube video links, copy and paste text. And then what's amazing about Notebook is it will generate a listenable podcast exclusively and solely on the contents you feed to it. It will not deviate out of bounds. And it's remarkably good. So Google's like, oh, we're going to buy that. And we're going to make it available for absolutely everybody. You might have just, I didn't plan for this, but I just want to prove it really quick. When I was looking at the thing a second ago, I hadn't seen this until now. When I go into my labs, look at this. Ask whatever's on your mind with AI overviews. So they're actually experimenting to go to the next level with this right now. So I just want to see how it is. So they're going to start putting the AI overviews inside of the search results. That's going to be very interesting. Okay, sorry, I'm just dive deeper in AI mode. I'm just having a little moment right now. Sorry, I was learning because I saw a thing that was new. I digress. Stay focused, Jason. Come on, you can do this. All right, let me show you how this could be applied strategically through 4 steps. 1, we're going to go start a notebook, which is free, by the way. We're going to drop your market update in. It could be a YouTube link, a document, whatever you got for market update. So check this out for a second. If I go over here to, where are we at? I'm going to lose this tab. I don't need it. Okay, notebooklm.google.com. And then I've got a new notebook open. I haven't done anything to it. I'm going to click add source, and it wants me to drop sources in. So the first source I want you to consider dropping is a market update. Once again, if you look at my slides, this is the step-by-step we're going to go through really quick. So if I jump over to Claude, notice here I've got a very in-depth text-based market update. What I did is inside the Academy, let me show you this. There is a prompt for podcast market report from MLS data. So if I go in here, I can take this prompt, copy it, and then I would grab my MLS data. And this is the prompt that I used where I told it, I need you to analyze this MLS data. I'm going to feed all this data to a podcast so it has this for context. I didn't analyze anything. I let AI do it all. So step 1 is you go to your MLS, you download all your listings for whatever search you want to do for a market update podcast, and then you attach that to Claude. It is literally as simple as if I go to Claude and I start a new chat, and then I have right here these are some listings I downloaded off of my MLS. I literally just drag and drop, and then it attaches it. And then I would jump over to here. I would copy my prompt and then jump back over and I would paste my prompt, and then I would press go, and it's going to start following my instructions and analyzing that. And then when it's done with its analysis, it's going to look something like what we have here. And I just scroll to the bottom and I click this little button that says copy. So I copy it to my clipboard, and then I jump over to my notebook. I go to copy text, I go to paste, I hit insert. No, I don't. I click insert. It adds it. Next, if we go step 2, we're going to scan sentiment with Grok. So what I don't want is a podcast that is completely tone deaf to the feelings and the sentiment that prospective sellers and homeowners in my area might have if I'm doing a market update video. So what I can do is I can go to Grok, which is grok.com, and it's part of XAI. Now, Grok is the only language model, AI, that's attached to a real-time social media feed. So look at this for a second here. If I jump over to my Grok, this is my chat pulled up, and I fed it a prompt, which guess what? The prompt was inside the Academy. If I go back, the prompt is this one right here, homeowner sentiment deep research. I can view the resource, scroll down, grab the prompt like this, and it tells it to conduct a qualitative analysis to deeply understand current homeowner sentiment. But what I told it to do is I want you to look at the last 30 days of, are there tweets in that geographic area from prospective homeowners or sellers who would give you a sense about what is the vibe or mentality of homeowners right now in X community. So it's geographically filtered. And it does thorough analysis. And then it put it into this document for me, which is just a whole like synopsis on the vibes of locals in Franklin, Tennessee. And then I just click on the little copy contents button. I jump over to my notebook. I click to add a source, copy text, paste the text, hit insert. And now I've got sources where all I have to do is I could click on customize. And I want you to see this as well. So if you jump over to the generative AI podcasting topic, we go a lot deeper on this. I'm going to open this one up. This is the whole video. The video itself is 45 minutes long, but there's some additional resources down here. And I put a special prompt in there for you where I'll read it to you as I use it. I will paste it here. And it says, create an engaging conversational podcast episode providing an insightful analysis of Franklin, Tennessee's real estate market, focused exclusively on the year-to-date market activity, blah, blah, blah. But what I want you to see here is tailor it to my sphere, friends, family, clients, homeowners, etc., and clearly position Jason Pantana as their trusted local expert. I wanted to give me the credit. And then I just click generate, and this may take a few minutes, but it's going to make that for me. So if I go back over to our steps, the third step was what I just showed you, prompting it to make you the attributed source of this information. And then last is you share it everywhere. You download it, you email it, you post it on a podcast, whatever, and you have a podcast that looks and sounds like this.
Hey everyone, welcome to your personalized deep dive. We're going to be talking about the Franklin, Tennessee real estate market.
Oh, Franklin, Tennessee.
You know, we know that you are interested in what's happening with homes in the area. So
Yes.
we've put together this deep dive just for you.
It's such a cool area. It really is. I mean, I love that blend of Southern charm, but it also has that modern feel,
Yeah.
almost a little luxurious.
It is.
And it's no wonder it's become such a desirable place to live.
Yeah. So to kind of get a clear picture of, what is going on in the market, we've got some really interesting sources for you guys today.
Oh, absolutely.
First off, we're going to be hearing from Jason Pantana.
Okay.
He is a trusted local real estate
Shout out.
expert.
So you get the gist of
Take
it.
a look at his
Now, there are some other tools that we talk about inside of the Academy. We talk about Notebook LM, which I just showed you. 11 Labs is one that we really dive into because 11 Labs lets you clone your own voice where it can sound like you. And not only can you clone it to sound like you, like this is gonna go like DEFCON 1 nerd level for a second here. This is, by the way, all the prompts, all the instructions, they're all inside the Academy. So don't freak out if this seems like daunting. You're going to go step by step, day by day in terms of executing and AI-ifying your marketing. So look at this. I'm going to let you hear it first. I'm going to zip my lips and just listen. With 11 Labs, you can upload recordings of your own voice, and the AI will create a highly realistic clone that sounds like you. Then you can paste in any text, and it'll read it aloud in your voice with natural tone, pacing, and emotion. What's more, it interprets punctuation the way a musician reads sheet music, adding rhythm, pauses, and emphasis exactly where they're needed. Perfect for content creators, voiceover work, or automating your voice at scale. It can even narrate an entire podcast, as if you recorded it yourself. So that wasn't me, that was my AI avatar. So I teach you in the Academy how do you clone your voice. This particular tool is like $20 a month if you want to do it like that. But notice I've got this term that says SSML, that stands for Speech Synthesis Markup Language. You can actually embed instructions that tell the AI how to inflect or interpret specific words, how to emphasize or create urgency or ask a question in it. Now you might be thinking that's a lot of work. Who's going to do that? Well, actually, if you look at the Academy, I put a resource in here for us. Let me find it so you know where it is. It is called, where did I put you? Where? Where to put it? Oh, here it is. Solo Podcast Script Generator for 11 Labs. That's what it is. Okay, so I click on that and I'm going to slow down because I'm getting an internet alert. But it literally has a prompt that tells ChatGPT how to write the entire script that is written for my podcast. So ChatGPT writes the whole podcast script. It sounds like you, and it injects all that markup language for speech emphasis. So literally it's a copy and paste and then download your recording and you have a podcast out of complete and utter thin air. The level of what you can do with AI is just absolutely wild. Helps you do more, helps you do it faster, helps you do it better. Now, I wonder if you're watching this and thinking, you know what? I think AI is just a fad. Ha 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 ha. Kind of like social media was a fad, right? Do you ever think about social media like, what if I could go back in time, knowing now, if I knew then what I know now about Facebook or Instagram, would I have treated it differently? If I knew then what I know now, that's a tongue twister, about TikTok, would I have started sooner? What would I have done differently? And I would argue that right now, AI is that same kind of fertile opportunity. It is a bullet train and it's leaving the station. And the time is now to get on and start to AIify the specific aspects of your business that are going to allow you to run your business in a modern AI first era. which is exactly why I partnered with Tom Ferry to launch AI Marketing Academy, which you already saw a quick little view of what it is. AI Marketing Academy is it's a membership for training. Every month we put out a lecture in a lab, and it's designed to go with you, working with you to help you implement AI strategies into your marketing mix so you're never left behind. Now you may be thinking like, well, that seems some of the stuff we talked about today is a little bit over your head. Totally get it. We also include a built-in course called Essentials. It's an 8-video series that will get you up to speed on all things AI. If you're struggling with understanding some of the core concepts, this is here for you. There's only one membership. Everybody in AIM gets the same stuff. Once you sign in, you have access to everything that ever was and ever will be inside the Academy. It's yours forever, as long as you're a member. And what a lot of folks do is if they hire a new manager or a new admin, they'll have them go watch these videos to make sure they're up to speed. Sometimes it may not even be you who's doing it. It may be that you've got a 16-year-old who's looking to help you grow your business. So you give them your login and let them go take the sessions. The question is, who's going to be responsible on your side of the business for leveraging and understanding and applying AI? Now, I see AI as being applicable to lots of areas of life, but in particular, marketing excites me because what could be possible if you did more marketing, better marketing, faster marketing? And the answer is a lot more business, a lot more scale. Marketing creates growth. Growth solves your business's problems. That's the way I choose to see it. So Tom Ferry and I kicked it off. If you're interested in joining AI Marketing Academy, this QR code will take you to the website. There's a big join now button, or you can just scan it and read more about it. If you decide you don't want to join or you want to join later, it will take you to the main page. Or you could just, if you can't get the QR code to work, just go to aimarketingacademy.ai on any web browser, and it will get you there. You can also email if you have questions. Hey, what about this? Email us, info@jasonpantana.com. We want to make you feel confident and informed for whatever decision you choose to make about applying AI into your marketing mix. And I have one special treat for you as well, too. At least I think it's a treat. You may not. I'd like to encourage you to be a yes and to step into the possibilities of AI in your marketing. This program, AI Marketing Academy, the membership is $199 per month. If you do the annual membership, it jumps the price down to $1,997 per year. So it's $199 a month or $1,997 per year. So you save a couple of months if you do the annual membership. However, to make this easy for you to decide today, if when you get to the checkout screen, there's a little promotional box opportunity where you can plug in the code AIM50OFF. It's all one word, all caps. AIM50OFF. You have to type it, and there's a button that says apply. When you tap apply, it takes half off, and it's not half off for the first month or the first year. It's half off forever. As long as you're a member, it's half off forever. So every month, June, July, August, September, October, forever. As long as you stay in, it's 50% off. Or if you do it this year, it's this June, next June, the next June, the next June, half off forever as long as you're staying in the program. Just put in that code AIM50OFF and it gets you in, and you can go in and you can immediately watch all the stuff I showed you. When I was messing around over here, this is just me logged into my account, and what I see is exactly what you will see. You can click through, play the videos, read the resources, scan through all these, and we're going to keep making it better, keep making it faster, keep AI-ifying it ourselves so that you can find more value in your membership and so that you can grow and scale your business and save time while doing it. There's that QR code again if you haven't seen it. And with that, I'm going to invite Scott, if you want to jump off. I know we're a little over time, maybe a little bit of a few minutes of questions if we have time.
Yeah. That was amazing, dude. And I got to say, before we get into questions, one real quick thing. I'm not sure I've ever met anybody that doesn't live on the East Coast that talks as fast as you do.
I do talk. Hey, one of the benefits of AIM is you can slow me down in the video.
Right. Which is awesome, but you do that because you're so knowledgeable and passionate about the information that you're sharing. I just think it's amazing. And that 50% off deal, I'm sitting here slacking JC like, dude, we got to get this.
Appreciate that.
Thank you so much, Jason. We really appreciate it. We've had such great feedback in the chat. Couple of questions because we are out of time. Is there any focus or any modules in AI in your AI Marketing Academy about agent attraction or recruiting?
Yeah, I saw that question too. So I'm trying to think through. Most of it's scaling. I mean, Here's the honest answer. No, it's mostly
Okay.
focused on marketing your business. However, the
Sure.
strategies and principles could be easily transposed for
Okay.
recruiting techniques.
Okay.
But the prompts, so they're more specifically written for buyers and sellers and attracting business.
Cool. Okay. Fair enough. Fair enough. Maybe future thoughts, future
Yeah,
updates.
yeah.
And do people listen to those AI podcasts and actually think it's you?
Say that one more time.
Do people listen to those AI podcasts and actually think that it's
Yeah, they
you?
don't know. They don't know. They're remarkable.
There's no
And
way.
so 11 Labs is the stuff they're putting out on 11 Labs is insane. Um, it, so we have several tools we look at. One of the things people are often worried about in the academy is how many things am I going to have to buy or subscribe to?
Yeah.
And I
Right.
try to be
Right.
very conscious of keeping that budget low. If anything, you should expect to save money because it will be a lesser reliance on video editors, a lesser reliance
Right.
on other services. And we use a lot of the same tools over and over and over again. So,
Okay.
like, I use ChatGPT a lot. I use 11 Labs a lot. I use HeyGen a lot. I give you options if you prefer Gemini versus ChatGPT or Claude. I try my best to keep it as slim of a tech stack as possible. And then we have a whole video that's dedicated to helping you get your tech stack for members. But yeah,
Perfect.
that's that right there.
That's a really great point because there's so much information in there. Like, first of all, it's overwhelming, right? So I would imagine that you encourage members to sort of pick something, focus on that, and do it well, and then move on. So you're sort of not going out and getting all the, the giant tech stack all at once. Kind of like, okay, I want to do the videos. Let's start there and get whatever I need to do that. Is that the case?
Yeah, that is. And there's enough in there where
Yeah.
you'll have and we're going to keep making it better too. So you'll have
Sure.
the ability to recognize, okay, he's talking about this and this and this one. I use those tools. That's a great video for me to start with. I already have that and start with
Great.
low hanging fruit.
Cool. Cool. Awesome. That's great. Thank you for that.
Yep.
And then someone also asked, Tom had mentioned there's a 2-page ChatGPT cheat sheet for creating content using Answer the Public.
Yeah, it's inside of a cat. So that's actually in the academy.
Okay,
I
perfect.
think Tom may be a member. So if you, I think he was answering. So if you jump into your membership, it was in the answer engine optimization. And I showed you all this specific
Perfect.
down here.
Yeah.
You'll notice it references a tool called Answer the Public a lot right there,
Yeah.
for instance. And I show you how to use that tool. What
Great.
we're doing is we're doing keyword research to figure out what are the phrases people are actually searching, which
Yeah.
I'm sure you guys are very well versed in doing all
Yep.
that.
Yeah, crazy. I mean, if you're not using that tool, you need to be using it. And
It's such a
check it
good
out.
deal. It's 11 bucks a month.
Wow.
Honestly, the way I frame it is you could buy it for the first month, use it, and then cancel it. I only
Yeah.
need it for the first go.
Right, right. Awesome. Well, I think that about wraps this up, man. Again, we really appreciate your time. Such great, valuable content and tactical things that people can implement in their business right now. So anybody who's on this, we appreciate you joining. Go out and check out AI Academy. I mean, you saw what's in there. You see the value that it can add to your business. So I encourage you to go out and check that out and sign up for that.
Thanks,
Thanks so
everybody.
much, everybody. Have a great day. Jason, thank you again.
Thank you.